Welcome back to Science Exposed. We're diving into some really fascinating research today, curated, as always, by the brilliant Dr. Cameron Jones. Before we get started, though, don't forget to like and subscribe and check out the show notes for more. Okay, so you ready for this?
Absolutely. Always excited to dig into some new science.
Today we're going to be looking at a brand new study about chronic stress and its effects on the brain.
And a potential new treatment.
Yeah.
Which is super exciting.
So let's just jump right in.
Let's do it.
What's this study all about?
Well, it uses a really unique approach to try to understand and treat chronic stress, which, let's face it, is something we all experience.
Yeah.
The researchers used this protocol called chronic unpredictable mild stress on mice.
Okay, so they're basically giving these mice, tiny daily annoyances, like the mouse version of, missing your train or having to deal with, a frustrating coworker.
Exactly. It's like simulating that experience we all have of those daily hassles that just kind of pile up. And unsurprisingly, the stressed out mice started showing signs of anxiety, despair. They even developed memory problems.
So, really mirroring the human experience.
Precisely, but what's even more interesting is what they found happening inside the brain.
Okay, so, what's going on in the brains of these stressed out mice?
Well, the researchers focused on the hippocampus, which is like the brain's memory center.
Right.
And they discovered that chronic stress significantly disrupts a specific pathway called SIRT1.
SIRT1?
Yeah, and this pathway is crucial for how our cells manage energy and respond to stress.
So, basically, chronic stress is like throwing a wrench in the brain's ability to just cope.
Exactly, and this is where that potential treatment comes in that we were talking about, photobiomodulation, or PBM. It's a non-invasive therapy that uses light.
Light.
Yes, light to stimulate cells and potentially repair damage.
So, are we talking tiny little disco balls for mice?
Oh, not quite.
Okay.
The researchers used a special device that targeted both the brain and the abdomen.
Wait, the abdomen, what does that have to do with the brain?
Well, that's what makes this study so fascinating. They're targeting both the brain and the gut.
Okay.
Recognizing that really intricate connection between the two. We know that our gut microbiome, all those trillions of bacteria living in our digestive system, can significantly impact our overall health.
So it's like our gut bacteria has a say in how we handle stress.
Exactly.
Interesting. Maybe we should be thanking them with some extra yogurt.
Perhaps. It's a fascinating area of research. And to understand the effects of PBM even further, they used these special mice that allowed them to see which brain cells were actually activated by the treatment.
Oh.
And surprisingly, they found that PBM actually decreased the number of activated neurons, especially in the hippocampus.
Well, no, so the light therapy is calming down brain activity.
Yes.
That's kind of counterintuitive.
It is. It suggests that PBM might be helping the brain to manage stress by actually reducing overactivity.
Wow. So we've got stressed out mice, a disrupted SIRT1 pathway, and this intriguing light therapy that's calming things down. This is already blowing my mind.
Yeah.
But the big question is, did PBM actually make a difference for these mice?
That is the big question, and I think we should definitely delve into those results.
Let's do it.
The results were pretty remarkable. The mice who received PBM to both the head and abdomen, they showed significant improvements in their cognitive abilities, particularly in spatial memory.
Spatial memory, that's like remembering where you parked your car.
Yeah.
Right. Except for mice, it's more like remembering where they stashed their cheese.
Exactly.
So PBM is helping them think more clearly, even under stress.
Exactly. It's like PBM is giving their brains a much-needed tune-up.
Okay.
And there's more. PBM also prevented the loss of spine density in the hippocampus.
Now, hold on. We're not talking about actual spines on their backs.
Yeah, no. These spines are tiny protrusions on brain cells. They're essential for communication between neurons. Think of them like tiny bridges that connect thoughts. So this finding suggests that PBM could be protecting the brain from the damaging effects of chronic stress, preserving its ability to function properly.
So it's not just improving memory, it's potentially safeguarding the brain's wiring. That's huge. But how is light actually doing all of this? Is it like photosynthesis for the brain?
Well, not quite photosynthesis, but it does seem to involve restoring balance. Remember the SIRT1 pathway we talked about? The one that was disrupted by chronic stress?
Yeah.
PBM seems to work by bringing that pathway back into equilibrium, potentially improving the brain's ability to handle stress at its core.
It's like PBM is hitting the reset button on the brain's stress response system. Fascinating. And don't forget, this treatment targeted both the brain and the abdomen. Let's get back to that intriguing gut connection.
Right. We know that chronic stress can disrupt the gut microbiome, and this study showed that PBM actually changed its composition. Specifically, it increased the abundance of a type of bacteria called Roseburia.
Roseburia sounds like a character from a sci-fi movie. But why is this little bacteria so important?
Well, in humans, Roseburia is linked to better mental health.
Yeah.
It also produces butyrate, a substance that can influence the activity of, you guessed it, the SIRT1 pathway.
So it's like a chain reaction.
Yeah.
PBM influences the gut, which then influences the brain.
Yeah.
It's like a microscopic support system for handling stress.
Pretty amazing, right? It is. It highlights the interconnectedness of our systems and opens up exciting possibilities for future research. We're just beginning to understand how powerful the gut-brain connection really is.
Okay, so we've got PBM, improving memory, protecting brain cells, and potentially working through the gut. Is there anything else this light therapy can do?
There's one more remarkable finding. Remember how chronic stress triggers inflammation in the brain, contributing to those mood and cognitive problems we talked about?
Right.
This study found that PBM significantly reduced signs of neuroinflammation.
So it's like PBM is a superhero swooping in to save the day from all these different aspects of stress. But how is it tackling inflammation specifically?
It seems to be working on the brain's immune cells, called microglia. PBM, actually change their shape, making them less activated and potentially less likely to cause damage. It's like telling those overactive immune cells to calm down and take a break.
Wow, so it's not just the neurons. PBM is even influencing the brain's immune response.
Yeah.
This light therapy is sounding more and more impressive with every detail. What does all of this mean for the future of treating stress? What's the big takeaway here?
The big takeaway here is that we might be looking at a completely revolutionary new way to treat conditions related to stress. Imagine a non-invasive therapy, relatively simple, that can improve your cognitive function, protect brain cells, positively influence the gut microbiome, and reduce inflammation in the brain. It's addressing the problem from so many different angles.
Yeah, it's like the ultimate stress-busting toolkit all packed into this light therapy. But is this just hype? Or is there real potential here? Could PBM really change how we approach managing stress?
Well, we always need more research, of course, but this study offers really compelling evidence that tissue-combined PBM, so that's targeting both the brain and abdomen, holds immense promise. It's not simply masking those symptoms of stress. It seems to be tackling the underlying biological processes.
And it makes you wonder, could PBM be used not just for treating existing conditions, but also for preventing stress-related problems from developing in the first place? Could we use light to build up resilience to the stresses of modern life?
That's a fascinating question, and one that researchers are actively exploring. Imagine a future where PBM is used to boost our natural ability to just cope with all of life's inevitable challenges. The possibilities are really exciting.
It's incredible to think that something as simple as light could have such a profound impact on our mental well-being.
Oh.
This deep dive has definitely given me a whole new perspective on stress and the amazing complexity of the brain and the body.
It just goes to show that there's always more to discover, and science is constantly revealing these new and unexpected ways to improve our lives. I mean, who would have thought that shining a light on your belly could help you think more clearly and manage stress more effectively?
It's mind-blowing, and it highlights just how interconnected everything is, right down to those tiny bacteria in our gut. Maybe we should all be a little bit kinder to our gut microbiome. After all, it seems they're playing a much bigger role in our well-being than we ever imagined.
Absolutely. It's a good reminder that we're not just individuals, we're complex ecosystems. And understanding those connections is really the key to unlocking our full potential.
Well said. We hope this episode has sparked your curiosity about PBM and its potential to help us all live healthier, less stressed lives. Thanks for joining us on Science Exposed, and remember, keep exploring, keep asking questions, and never stop learning.